Twins have mainly been about in Pokemon ever since Gen 3 with the introduction of double battles. But now it's time for a Pokemon Pocket Twin Tournament. So how does Twinsies work? Well, it's all based on your deck building. The simple rule is every Pokemon in a deck must come as a pair of non-identical cards. So for every Pokemon card name, you must have another one but with a different attack, as in these examples that are shown here. In addition, both Blaine and Cynthia are banned for the tourney. In the pre-tourney testing, they must have found out that these made their respective Pokemon too good. And the other rule that got added is that Unowns, even though they share the same attack, because they've all got the different abilities, as long as you bring two different ones, that's also acceptable. So now it's established, I'm going to run you through most of the different combos and techs I tried fairly quickly, as I did reach up to 30 of them at one point, and I've skipped out most of the failures. So this is just roughly in order from my least to most successful. Starting with Melmetal, I did partner with Wormadam, maybe not the best, using all the steel benefits. If you didn't get him up and going fast, he was just too slow. Awesome is quite a good card if you can get it out. Again, it just didn't seem to fit with the format, and there was a lot of fire decks running around as well. The Water Eevees, I do have a rank deck I use of them, so I just did a rift on that. It's quite good with the 60 damage Paralyze and the 50 damage hit for bench. Tentacool and Cloyster, another water one that mixed it up, using Misty to get them going early, and they had some good benefits to them. Giratina was a fun deck, especially when you get the Crisis Drive off, and I paired it up with Swanna to get all the energy and just shove it off onto it. And getting wins out of that was quite fun. Never thought I'd do it. Also what I call 18 Poke Dog Trio, but you use the Hikers so you can line all your cards up, and then just start hitting your opponent for 100 damage every turn off just the one energy. Staraptor's still here, Barry's still around. I paired it up with Magnezone and Dawn and Elemental Switch. But if you can get the Brave Bird out with the Barrys, you can just start wiping your opponent's team out. Salazar's a good one. This was quite popular as well, what I saw. Obviously, you've got the Venoshock combined with the Poison, and you can get Poison Barbs. It's quite good for basic, although it does need a bit of help. Now we're moving to the fancy technical ones that did pretty good. I had a dual energy Wish Cash deck, fighting water. It worked quite well, but if you got the wrong energy, it got slowed down a little bit. So the two Gengars you could have also were quite good. If you rare candy them out, you can either shut down the supporters or send them to sleep. This is one that I was really a fan of, and that's Tyranitar, comboed with the Memory Light as well. So obviously I was running dual energy for this, but you could set up whatever one you're using, and with the 50 damage for one fight and two colourless, or I can't remember what it's called, the one where you take 30 less damage. With Shaman's for support, so you can just run around, heal, and yeah, it was quite powerful when it got going. Porygon's another deck that's seen success in the past few tourneys, and it could be good here, although you only get one of your Porygon 2s to let you fast evolve, which is unfortunate. Talonflame's another good stage 2 where you can get going quite fast, like just hitting for 1 energy and burn, or 2 energy for 90. I paired up with Arcanine as well, so obviously the excess energy could just go to those guys, coming in for some big powerful hits. Wild Swing Gyarados isn't new to anyone. Combo it up with Pukimuku, who's also got, if you get the right one out, revenge damage ability. Although this was a bit hard to build up if you got the Hyper Beam version first, and you didn't get a good Misty. Executor and Leafeon was another fairly good combo. Stomp Executor only needs a single energy, and you've also got your Execute that can generate its own for the Psychic Executor. And meanwhile, you put all the rest on your Leafeon, which has got the Blissey incremental damage. Of course, we've got Macargo on here. Even though you've got to run with one of the other two options, which dilutes it a bit, the fact that he can just, if you get him out and just hit 150 randomly, he can quite quickly eliminate opposing teams. As long as you start spewing fire though, if you get the wrong one, you might be in a bit of a pickle. But another fire option was the Magmar. I also had Flareon in there to help with boosting the energy. The lack of Blaine doesn't really hurt him because you want to evolve and you want to do those big 100 damage hits, or his extra effect where you can cause your opponents to start missing. But now we've reached the decks, which was the finalist for my deck choice. Starting with Alakazam, who could hit for 80 for 2 energy, also damage the bench if they're trying to build up there, and also the Psychic variety can pretty much KO anything. He was pretty good. Then there's a fun deck here, which is based off my Ace-DOS, which I did for the Middlemon. Emolga and Mimikyu. So Emolgas are quite good for their fast damage output anyway, especially with the birds that I found running around in testing. And with the Sky here, when he puts the 10 damage on the Mimikyu, you then use your Ace Roller to do that as some extra damage. This gives you an extra chip on top of the 40, plus a bit of healing. I found Dart did quite well in my Weezing and Honchkrow build. Koga could save them and stop your opponent taking a point. You've got the free poison, you've also got the Smoke Cloud, which means your opponent's got a flip to hit you, which saved me a couple of times. And Honchkrow's ability to snipe on the bench as well was very useful. Brock was still a super good card. If you can get like Mysterious Island Golem coming out, once he starts hitting, he's impossible to get rid of, especially if you pair him up with Lilies. And you've got the alternative is the genetic Apex Golem, who can pretty much one-shot anything in the format. And if you don't get him out too early, you don't have to worry too much about the chip damage. And obviously I paired this one with Onyx just because it made sense for me, because Onyx could stall while you build him up, and also get Brock out to attack if you needed. And the final finalist, not chosen, was the fighting deck. It had Primeape and Lycanroc. So Mankey with a wheel could hit for 50, like first turn. Rockruff could help search your deck and thin it a bit. And then obviously the Lycanrocs, you've got your standard, the 50 damage and doubles. And you've got your 80 and energy removal, both of which were quite useful, especially because you can power up the 80 damage one if you're only using the 1 energy Primeape. But my final deck choice was, drumroll please, Togekiss. Even with Cynthia banned, it's still a strong choice. You can either hit for 60 then 120 off 2 energies, so that's not terrible. You've got the less offensive 70 for free, who does benefit more from Cynthia, but because it's got the Super Celestial Blessing, it could possibly be immortal with the right amount of coin flips. And a lot of times in testing, it did save me just off 1 coin flip alone. As much as I wanted to just run 2 of those, I had to partner up, so I've gone with the Unowns, the Power and the Guard, and actually in testing they were also super useful. They could keep me alive for 1 extra turn, which could be a difference maker, and the 10 extra damage really did add up. And then I just threw in all supporters. Just the aim is to get the Togekiss into hand and get them out as quick as I can, and then just keep them alive. So now let's go to round 1 and check out my first opponent. So the first round of Twinsies is here, and I'm pretty sure I practiced against this deck once, because I remember thinking Vaporeons are coming out and the Glaceons threw me. It'll be interesting to see how it does. Obviously Unknowns are there. They're there. I've got the Unknowns too. I quite like them, although you can brick occasionally. And the Kangaskhan's are interesting because the flippy one can, many practice matches just double flipped heads on the first turn, which was a instant win. Everyone's useful against Togekiss, but not so much if I haven't evolved. But right, let's see how it goes. Go in second and have candy, so I'll leave Togepi. Basic Kangaskhan, so I can survive against you. It'd be nice to top deck an Unknown this turn. I'm very tempted to silver, spy your hand, but you haven't used a research, so you haven't got one in there. You might have a will, but you wouldn't have played the will yet. Tell you what, let's go for some damage. And I played that and instantly regret it, because actually I could have just charmed to take no damage. Right, silver, what you got? There goes your healing. Pokeball, Glaceon. Drop you there. Put one of you guys out. So if I don't get the Irida back, Togekiss comes in for the first KO, but then I've got to rely on not getting paralysed. Well, I think I saw both Glaceons anyway. You had 2 water Eevees, I think. I've already forgotten. I should have paid more attention. Oh, that cape saved you. So unless I got a Lily, I'm not going to evolve. Okay, I got Lily, so you know what? I'll do it. You've got a Cyrus. If I ran away, you can call me back in, but you've got no Sabrina to take me out of the active spot. Togekiss. Do I want to use you, but I want to shuffle for an unknown. Do you know what? I'm going to do it because it means I can shuffle away the other one. Now, which water Eevee are you going to use? Ah, healing. Well, what a time to top deck another Lily. Seven cards left. I've got another research because I'm looking for the other Togekiss or the other unknown. Oh, you've got both your unknowns. Puts you up to 70. You got 2 Eevee bags. You can hit 90. So I have to stay out to get the KO with you because of that damage resistance, so I can't switch into Togekiss. Right, which is the other water Eevee you're going to play then? I don't think it'll be the other Vaporeon, so it'll be one of the Glaceons. But will it be Bench Snipe or will it be Paralyze? Paralyze makes the most sense. If you have it in hand. Yeah. Excellent, so I'm guaranteed to get a Pokemon I can use. Here we go. And I'm about to rely on a lot of coin flips though. Use both for lilies, but it'd be quite nice if I could draw my other unknown, or maybe my research to get some other stuff. And there's the will for the guaranteed paralyze. Damage was resisted though. Right, Pokemon or nothing. This is good. So no Pokeballs at the bottom, so the next 3 cards is either going to be unknown or research or something else. Obviously can't send out unknowns because Togekiss does take them out in one shot. It's healed Glaceon, so now Togekiss can't take that out with one shot if I get my second unknown. Like this guy, so that heal has kept you in the game. I'll do this. You're gonna need your Kangaskhan out if you want to do anything. Oh wait, no, I can't single shot you, but I don't even know what card I'm looking for. Send you out. I think you got to rely on Paralyze, because if you send out Kangaskhan, I'm going to get 2 hits on it. Well, I've lucked out here, but I'm so glad the Flipperthon's finally over. Right, on to game 2 then. Okay, single unknown. So just first turn silver. What you got? Eevee bag, Vaporeon, unknown. There goes a research, but it's fine. I'll shuffle the deck anyway. Alright, so if I drop this guy, so this has got both unknowns. I'm still heading towards a bit of an unknown brick. I'm not sure if you had any healing or capes in hand. I think you might have had cape. But if not, you've got to evolve the Vaporeon if you don't want to get the KO. Possibly though, you could have Glaceon by now. Yeah, just like this. Right, I kind of need a Togepi now. Lucked out there a little bit. Unknown can be sacrificed. Doesn't give me any bonuses anymore. You've already used an Eevee bag, so you can't get 90 damage on this Togekiss. And that gives me 2 turns to draw a Togekiss. Although if I get one this turn with the red candy, that'd be useful. But I do not. Okay, so I need Togekiss this turn. No. Good game, game 2 then. Haha, I started with two basics this time. Have to be careful here because I could be looking at a double flip Kangaskhan KO. Oh, there goes my candy. past 1 attack. There's no point doing 10 damage, is there? So I keep the engine here in case I somehow research into rare candy and 70 damage Togekiss. Right, so bit of a charm. Even if you get a double heads now, you still can't get the KO. Put it on you. Just use this Togepi to stall as long as I can. There's no way to retreat Kangaskhan without putting free energy on it. So I'm safe on these. Well, not safe, but stuff like that can happen. But the next turn you're probably going to bring in an evolution. Okay, here we go. Can I get one of my Togekiss? Not Togekiss, Togetic. So, annoyingly, I can't send you out because if you've got Vaporeon and 2 Eevee bags, you can get the KO. But no, you've already got that, so Vaporeon and a single Eevee bag. If you switch in an Eevee, evolve it and KO Togepi, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Right, so can I draw my other Togekiss or not? No. Well, I guess I have to run with you. And just try and avoid the paralysis. Basically, but there'll be a will coming out. Oh no, so actually 50-50. Right, I might be with a chance. Just keep my health up constantly. It's no paralyzed, so all you've got now is the Eevee to take away my energy. Because it gets a constant 120. Oh, actually, you could have healing Eevee with Cape and Iridare, which can take a couple of hits. One card left. I can only silver if I don't need to Lily. Oh no, wait, no, you've got unknowns, so he also survives with a cape. Silver. Yeah, so you got all of your Eevees there, plus 2 Eevee bags. Obviously both your Vaporeons can survive a hit because of your defense boost. I mean, it all comes down to this Tengus card if he hits me or not. I think that's a good game. Yeah, because I got nothing in here that can survive or heal me or anything. Yeah, so good games, good games. If only I hadn't used that slab at the start, throwing over the red candy, maybe it would have been alright. But problem with this deck, yeah, if it gets a bad start, it's not going to do very well. Well, on to round 2. See if we can pull it back.